Hello everyone! Thank you for tuning in to the Wasabi Aquarium channel. For today's video, as the title suggests, I would like to do a top 5 ranking of foreground plants, but in a slightly different style from our usual top 5 videos. So first of all, the rules that stay the same are that we will announce the top 5 most popular foreground plants of 2019, factoring in both in-store and online sales. However, unlike the past rankings, the ranking in this video will be completely fact or data-based, and we will purely go off of the 5 best-selling foreground plants in order. As most of you already know, we are specialized in aquatic plant aquariums, and thus a lot of our customers are also aficionados of aquatic plants. So this ranking should give you specific data on which aquatic plants are the most popular, and they will be presented in the order of pure sales. The main reason why we decided to create this video is because we often receive questions on which aquatic plants they should choose, and also how they should choose aquatic plants, as well as many customers wanting to know which plants are the most popular. And when we would get these questions, when we didn't have these stats in front of us, we would often give answers on what we felt was popular, mostly based on our experience in communicating with customers at our store. And although I felt we had been giving the right advice to our customers, having these stats allows all of us to give the same unified answers. Also, in this video, I'll also give my take on why I think each plant ranked where they did, as well as specific traits of each plant and advice when implementing them into your aquarium. So let's go ahead and start with 5th place, which is the Utricularia Graminifolia. I'd like to go ahead and show you the tank where we are currently growing some Utricularia Graminifolia, but I have to say this plant is visually very unique and extremely beautiful. If we just go off of visuals, I personally believe the Utricularia Graminifolia could rank in 1st or 2nd place. It's very vibrant, especially when you plant them in the foreground. The vibrant green just makes the entire aquarium so much brighter. However, as I mentioned before, this plant is visually top 2 or even top 1 material. So now I would like to give my take on why it didn't rank as high as it could have. As a lot of you may know, the Utricularia Graminifolia are quite difficult to grow, and it takes some time and effort that is not necessarily required in other plants, and this is probably why this plant ended up in 5th place rather than somewhere in the top 3. The Utricularia Graminifolia grow pretty slowly, and a lot of them fall out or don't grow sideways as we would like them to, so they're pretty difficult to control. But if we take a look at this aquarium, you can see that they've grown beautifully across the entire floor of the tank. This was done pretty easily by using a method invented by Mr. Katsuki Tanaka called the mist method. This method makes the maintenance of Utricularia Graminifolia dramatically easier, so knowing this method makes a pretty big difference. We've done some videos in the past that explain the mist method in detail, so if you could take a look, that would help you maintain full control of Utricularia Graminifolia when growing them out. So although this plant is placed 5th, knowing the mist method makes it super easy, and if more customers are able to easily maintenance this plant, I believe it would easily place in 1st or 2nd. So now moving on to 4th place, we have the Glossostigma Latinoitis. I'm expecting this to be a surprise for a lot of our viewers, as I believe you would imagine the Glossostigma to also rank higher. As a lot of you may know, the Glossostigma is extremely easy to take care of, and they grow very rapidly and widely, so it'll easily spread across your foreground. It's also visually very beautiful, and I would strongly recommend this to beginners or those with not as much experience in aquatic plant aquariums. So why did the Glossostigma rank in 4th place? This, I believe, is how sensitive it is to the strength of light. One unique trait about the Glossostigma is that without a strong amount of light, it grows upwards rather than spreading across the floor. So the fact that it is contingent on your equipment may have caused this plant to rank in 4th rather than maybe higher in the top 3. However, if you have the right amount of light, Glossostigma grows very rapidly and beautifully across your foreground, so it's still very easy to use. One more reason why the Glossostigma may have landed in 4th place is that it's a bit difficult to maintain in smaller aquariums. If you look closely, its leaves are pretty large in size. Of course, if you trim them consistently, you can maintain their size, but since they take in a large amount of nutrition directly from the floor, they grow to become large pretty rapidly. So although I wouldn't go as far as to say they don't match small-sized aquariums, it definitely takes more effort to contain them. So I think that is also a reason why they ranked 4th place. I definitely think that a few years back, Glossostigma would easily rank in 1st or 2nd place, but the recent increase of different types of foreground plants may have pushed the Glossostigma down to 4th place. But overall, they are very easy to maintain, so I would still strongly recommend Glossostigma to anyone. Now moving on to 3rd place. I must say there is a pretty big difference between 4th and 3rd place. The 3rd place is the HC Cuba. The HC Cuba is all about its beauty. It's almost stunning to see the thin leaves spread out across your foreground. It's somewhat the opposite of natural or wild, but the HC Cuba can give you a beautiful, consistent green across your floor, and you can almost say the visuals of HC Cuba push them up to 3rd place. However, I must also say that the reason why they couldn't rank 1st or 2nd is because of maintenance difficulties. The HC Cuba is very sensitive to the water, so it tends to become weak when the water is too soft or if there's a lack of beta waves in the water. It also grows pretty slowly, so there are some areas where our customers may have found the HC Cuba to be a bit difficult to grow and maintain. But these issues can easily be solved by placing some stones that harden the water, or increasing CO2 and maintaining a strong level of light allows the HC Cuba to grow consistently and rapidly. So it's definitely one of the less difficult plants to maintain, so I would still recommend everyone to try using the HC Cuba in your aquarium at least once, as it is visually extremely beautiful, as I mentioned earlier. Next up is 2nd place. But before I go on, I just wanted to ask all of you who are watching this video, what plant do you guys think ranked in 1st place? I'm pretty sure you know which 2 plants are left, but which do you think won? Interestingly enough, the plant that ranked in 1st place won by a huge difference. 3rd and 2nd place were actually pretty close, but they both could not even compete against 1st place. The foreground plant that ranked in 2nd place was the Eleocharis Parvula. Unlike the HC Cuba, the leaves of the Eleocharis Parvula grow pretty large in size, so overall it gives a fluffy and more natural, wild impression to the aquarium rather than a straight, clean, green floor like the HC Cuba. This fluffy look is actually very popular, but I must say our customers' preference definitely splits between the clean, tidy, vibrant look versus the more grassy, wild, and natural look like the Eleocharis Parvula that ranked in 2nd place. It was very interesting to see customers choose this plant as it was most likely purely based off of visual preference. As I mentioned earlier, second and third place were very close, but I believe that the reason why the Eleocharis Parvula came up by a bit was once again how easily it can be maintained. Long story short, the Eleocharis Parvula is very easy to maintain in many ways. It can grow in both soft and hard water, and although the stronger the better, it doesn't require too much light, and it can steadily grow without as much CO2, although the more the better, of course. So maintenance is very easy, and it can also accompany a variety of aquariums. One trait about the Eleocharis Parvula is that the leaves grow out in length, and it may overshadow your stones or your wood. So when using Eleocharis Parvula in your aquarium, it is usually better to place large pieces of stone and wood. Okay, now finally moving on to the most popular foreground plant, by far I must say. I know most of you know the answer by now. Yes, it's the Montecarlo. As some of you may have expected from the start, they were the champions, way ahead of everyone else. The Montecarlo is simply beautiful. It grows out to be a stunning, nice and tidy green floor. It grows fast, it's easy to maintain, so I believe its popularity is simply based on the fact that it's an almighty, beautiful aquatic plant. If we were to compare the plants in a pentagon data graph, the Montecarlo would definitely hit every category above average and will have the most balanced data. It's even easy to nurture, and it does not require strong lighting or an excess amount of CO2, so it's just as easy to maintain as the Eleocharis Parvula. But the Montecarlo definitely grows a lot faster than the Eleocharis Parvula. Additionally, Eleocharis Parvula are pretty small individually, so they actually require large amounts in order for them to fill the foreground. But the Montecarlo are almost perfect in size, and an average amount can easily fill up your aquarium. So once again, the traits of the Montecarlo simply make it the easiest choice when you choose your aquatic plants. Visually, the small leaves of the Montecarlo give off a bright, light greenish color. Unlike the Glossostigma, which works best for 60 centimeter aquariums, the Montecarlo works perfectly for a variety of tanks from 90, 120 to even 30 centimeter cubes. And they grow very easily and rapidly, so there's just no weaknesses to point out, which I believe is the reason why they're so popular. Overall, this ranking definitely made me realize that our customers' choices are very logical. Visuals and maintenance are definitely the two biggest factors in choosing your aquatic plants, so I'm pretty sure next year's ranking will be very different from this one. For those who are used to growing and maintaining aquatic plants and aquariums, the maintenance factor may not matter as much, so I'm sure there were a lot of customers who also chose their plants purely from a preference point of view, which I think is also a good thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We went through the top 5 most popular foreground plants, but if you would like to receive more information on each or any of the plants we mentioned today, I've posted links for details in the description below, so please check them out. In the past, we have also released detailed videos of planting and maintaining some of the plants we discussed today, such as the Utricularia Graminifolia or the Eleocharis Parvula, which I've also posted links in the description below, so please make sure to watch some of the related content in the description below when you have time. Also, in today's video, we specifically ranked the foreground plants, but if there are requests for videos like this for other specific genres such as middle ground plants or even plants for the background, we can definitely do annual top 5 videos. So it would be great if you could continue to stay tuned to the Wasabi Aquarium channel. If you also like this video, please kindly hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to the Wasabi Aquarium channel. This is it for today. Thank you!